Whether it's getting reprimanded for being late, missing the first 5 minutes of a long awaited movie, or just feeling angry and frustrated, anyone who lives in modern day cities have suffered the hand of traffic congestion. In our times, owning a car has become a basic standard of living for many residents in cities such as Los Angeles, Houston, and San Francisco. Almost every task outside our living space, either work, school, shopping, or just running errands, involves driving. Being aware of the causes for traffic congestion may actually help deal with it and eventually even reduce it. The issue of traffic congestion has been and still is researched by many organizations and governments. One of the main causes for the creation of those traffic congestions is the human factor. I will present you with two main reasons for that. The first is driving skills of the drivers in the United States, especially of young, inexperienced drivers, are deficient. The second is human limitations and physical and mental flaws negatively affect our ability to drive. First and foremost, the human factor comes into expression in creating traffic congestion as our driving skills. Driving is a skill that has to be learned and practiced. It's built over time, and the more experience one has, the better he drives. As a result, in the United States, the fatal crash rate for 16 to 19-year-olds is almost 3 times the rate for drivers older than 20. Other than the obvious risk in both fatal and minor crashes, those accidents can cause up to hours of delays on small roads and highways. In many European countries, for example, the legislation regarding obtaining a driver's license is much stricter. Driving lessons with a licensed tutor are obligatory, and even after obtaining it, the driver still must be chaperoned by an adult for the first few months of driving. The driving learning process usually lasts long after we get our driver's license, and thus it's extremely important to stay humble and to keep learning. In addition to that, as human beings, we have certain limitations and physical and mental flaws which impair our attention and our ability to drive properly. The first and most basic example is fatigue. The ability to self-assess the level of fatigue becomes highly impaired as the fatigue increases. However, the self-confidence in this ability remains high. People who drive tired they tend to react slower, to be less aware of the road and more specifically of hazards, and could easily cause delays. The more severe example is driving under alcohol or drug influence. Together with the conspicuous danger of such behavior, major delays and slowdowns can occur due to irresponsible driving and car accidents. Human senses, which the driver heavily relies on while driving, can many times deceive him. Such instances are described by Koichi Suira in his booklet on optical illusions on roads. For example, when driving through a series of slopes, an ascending slope can appear to be a descending slope and vice versa from the perspective of the driver. Mistaking a descending slope for an ascending one can result in speeding, while the other way around can result in unnecessary loss of speed. Whether it's conscious or not, our behavior on the road has long-lasting effects on traffic congestion, both on our way and on other drivers' way. All in all, there are two main ways in which human factor affects traffic congestion. Firstly, our driving skills, especially at the beginning, are not sufficient. Secondly, unconscious and biological factors interrupt with our ability to drive properly. There are, of course, many other reasons for traffic congestion. There are too many cars, there are many obstacles on the road, weather conditions, and inadequate infrastructure are a few from the top of the list. Nevertheless, the human limitations overtake all of this in importance. The more aware we become of our part in causing these horrible traffic conditions, the larger our ability to actually change it. Whether it's due to driving skills, physical and mental limitations, or poor decision making, people's driving have the biggest contribution to traffic congestion, outweighing other causes. with the advancement of technology, especially the non-human technology, hopefully more innovative, creative solutions will be offered to solve the massively growing problem. Until that day comes, the next time you miss the first 5 minutes of a long-awaited movie, you know who to blame.